There's a destructive pattern experts see every day in women over 50 who are navigating what's called a gray divorce. They fight for their freedom only to fall into a silent trap that can poison their new life and even their relationship with their own children. It's the number one thing that can turn a hard 1-second act into a tragedy. So we're going to expose what this bitterness trap looks like and walk through the expert-backed steps you can take to protect yourself and your family. This isn't just about feeling angry or hurt. That's normal. That's a normal part of the process, right? The issue is a corrosive state of mind that keeps you chained to the past, unable to build the very future you fought so hard to create. If you've ended a long-term marriage or you're thinking about it, you need to understand this trap. Recognizing it is the first step and most critical step to avoiding the trap. First, let's get something straight. If you're a woman over 50 who has initiated a divorce, you are part of a massive cultural shift. The Great Divorce Rate, that's divorce amongst adults over 50, roughly doubled between 1990 and 2010. While the rate has leveled off a bit, the portion of divorce involving older adults has soared. Back in 1990, only about 8% of divorces were gray. So that's people over 50 again. But today it's closer to 36%. And it's women who are overwhelmingly leading this trend. After decades of marriage, with recent data from 2022 showing a median of 29 years of first-time gray divorces, many women are looking at longer, healthier life expectancies and deciding they are no longer willing to stay in unfulfilling relationships. They're seeking growth, autonomy, and a life that finally feels like their own. But this new chapter often comes with a brutal reality check. The financial consequences for women are severe. Research consistently shows that women 50 and older experience a staggering 45% decline in their standard of living after divorce. For men, it's about half of that. It's around 21%. This financial shock, combined with the emotional earthquake of ending a decades-long relationship and partnership, creates the perfect breeding ground for the most dangerous post-divorce pitfall. Do you know what that is? If you do, drop it in the comments. It's bitterness. Now, bitterness is not just anger. Anger is a healthy temporary response to injustice. Bitterness is a chronic state of being. It's a toxic cocktail of anger, disappointment that keeps you fixated on past wrongs you can't change anymore. It starts to feel like a part of your personality, and it keeps you emotionally tethered to the very person you wanted to break free from. And that right there, that's the trap. That right there is the trap. Now, how does a woman who bravely seeks a new beginning end up stuck in this cycle? Well, the seeds are often planted decades before anyone even says the word divorce. It starts with a dynamic so many mothers will recognize instantly. It's overfunctioning. In countless long-term marriages, one partner, usually the woman, becomes the default manager of everything. She manages the house, the kids, the schedules, the family's emotional temperature, the social life, and even her husband's own responsibilities or his relationships with his family. On the surface, it looks like she's just an incredibly capable person. It feels like love. It feels like what a good wife and mother is supposed to do. But in reality, every time you pick up his socks, remind him about his own mother's birthday, or smooth over a conflict he started, you're making a tiny withdrawal from your own emotional reserves. For years, maybe decades, you compensated for his lack of engagement. Your overfunctioning was the invisible scaffolding holding the entire marriage together under the guise of love. And then one day, you just stopped. Not because you stopped caring, but because you literally had nothing left to give. Your account was overdrawn. You hit a breaking point where continuing to prop everything up felt like a fundamental betrayal of yourself. This is what some researchers have called a quiet divorce. The moment the overfunctioning partner stops holding the system up, the whole thing feels like it's collapsing. And the decision to formally end the marriage starts to feel inevitable. You didn't just wake up one day and decide to leave. No. You reached the end of a long, exhausting road where you were doing the work of two people, and that was no longer sustainable. Now, the divorce is final. You're free, but the pain of the past, all those years of feeling unseen, unappreciated, and utterly exhausted doesn't just disappear. And this is the exact moment the bitterness trap snaps shut. It starts when your legitimate anger and hurt curdle into the permanent lens through which you see everything. You find yourself replaying every old argument, every single injustice. You literally become obsessed with your ex-partner's actions now. His new life, his every failing. Psychologists describe this as drinking poison and waiting for the other person to get sick. The bitterness doesn't punish him. It poisons you. It can lead to chronic anxiety, depression, and even physical health problems. It clouds your judgment, makes you more likely to make bad decisions in legal fights or financial plans, which only piles on more stress. That liberation you fought for becomes a prison of your own making. And that's the part nobody wants to hear. But the most tragic fallout of this trap isn't what it does to you. It's what it does to your children. Even if they're adults, when a parent is consumed by resentment, they often can't see the damage they're doing. Your kids, who are already grieving the loss of the only family structure they ever known, are now forced to navigate an emotional minefield. They can feel a deep sense of instability or even a bizarre role reversal where they feel they have to take care of you. This leads to the most destructive pattern of all. When a woman initiates a divorce, a common reaction from the father is to punish her by pulling away from the children. Research shows that after a great divorce, fathers' frequent contact with their adult children can plummet. This withdrawal is a form of weaponized bitterness. He punishes you by hurting the kids, knowing their pain is your pain. Sounds cruel, but it happens. If you react with your own bitterness, you become an unwilling participant in their trauma. Every negative comment you make about their father forces them into an impossible loyalty bind. They feel caught. They start to question their own childhood memories, wondering if their family was all a lie. They suffer in silence because we often expect adult children to just get over it. Your bitterness, no matter how justified it feels, just feeds a toxic cycle that deepens your child's trauma and keeps you locked in a battle with no winner. There are no winners in this battle. If any of this is sounding familiar, if you can feel that resentment starting to take hold, please take a moment and subscribe. You're not alone in this, and we're committed to giving you expert-backed strategies to help you navigate and build a life that is truly better and not bitter. We don't want to drink the poison. We don't drink the poison around here. And there's no shame and no judgment, just a listening ear and a knowing that you're not alone in this. Now, recognizing the trap is step one. Disarming it is how you find true freedom. It takes conscious effort and a radical commitment to your own healing. Here are the 5 steps you have to take if you're seeing yourself right now. Step 1 is acknowledge the victim loop. Bitterness thrives on a victim mentality. It's always you against him. You have to get brutally honest with yourself. When you feel your mind circling back to what he did, how you were wrong, and how unfair it all is, you have to stop and ask one simple question. Is holding on to this making my life better? And I can guarantee you the answer will always be no. And step 2, you have to shift from blame to radical accountability. This isn't about blaming yourself for the marriage ending. It's about taking 100% ownership of your healing. You can't control your ex-partner's behavior. You couldn't then and you can't now. But you have absolute control over how you respond. Taking accountability means owning your choices, even the choice to overfunction for years, not as a failure, but as part of the story that brought you here. This is the shift that breaks the chain of victimhood and lets you reclaim your power. And step 3, process the anger, but refuse to live in it. Anger is a mandatory part of grief. You've lost a marriage, a future you planned for, and a piece of your identity. You must let yourself feel that anger. Write it all down, talk it out with a therapist, scream into a pillow, give it a voice. But then you have to make a conscious choice not to build a permanent home there. Acknowledging your anger lets it move through you. Dwelling in it lets it become bitterness. And 4 is you have to prioritize your children's well-being over your grievances. This is the hardest and most important step. When your ex is behaving badly, especially if he's using the kids as a weapon, your gut instinct is to fight back with rage. But you have to understand this profound truth. Your healing is the only antidote you can give your children. That's what you have control of. When they see you choosing calm, focusing on the future, and refusing to badmouth their father, you give them the greatest gift possible: emotional safety. You are modeling resilience. You are breaking the toxic cycle. Your peace gives them permission to find their own peace. And yes, go to therapy if you need to talk to someone, because you will. You didn't end a decades-long marriage just to spend the rest of your life miserable. And research shows that many adults who successfully navigate a great divorce report genuine improvement in happiness and a powerful sense of liberation and freedom. This is the prize, but you have to get to it. You have to claim it. Get out there and claim it. Use the time when your kids are with their dad, not to stew in resentment, but for intentional self-care. Reconnect with the old passions that you had. Discover new ones. Build a community of friends who lift you up. Your second act isn't about finding a new partner. It's about finding yourself again. And the end of a long marriage isn't just a legal proceeding. It's an emotional earthquake that can leave deep fractures behind. The bitterness trap is a real and destructive aftershock that can cause more damage than the quake itself. It promises a sense of justice, but only delivers more pain, keeping you chained to the past and sacrificing your children's well-being in the process, and yours too. But you have a choice. You can let the injustices pass. You can let the injustices of the past dictate your future, or you can decide that your peace is more important than your pain and find a way to work through it. Choosing to let go of bitterness isn't a gift to your ex-husband. It's the ultimate gift to yourself and to your children. It's the final decisive step toward the authentic, fulfilling life you absolutely deserve. Now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share one thing you're doing to choose a better path instead of a bitter one. Your story could be the spark of inspiration someone else desperately needs today. And if you're struggling, please consider reaching out to a therapist or a divorce coach. You don't have to walk this path alone. And you definitely don't have to walk it in bitterness. You deserve better, and your children deserve better. I'll see you in the next one.